So the deadline has passed, and you have enough money to get most of the DLC, but you still need to be selective in terms of getting the ones that count, for either story immersion or to help you conquer Apotheosis or a lunatic playthrough. This will be your definitive guide to choosing which maps and packs are worth your time and money. I will be breaking down every DLC map and pack and determine if they have any value to you for either of those reasons I mentioned earlier. I will first mention the pack and then the maps within them. All packs contain 3 maps with one exception, Apotheosis, which will be the very last one I talk about. With that said, welcome to the bonus part of my definitive guide to Fire Emblem Awakening in 2022. After March of 2023, it will be no longer possible to acquire the DLC of this and anything online related to the eShop, so this video has a time limit. But if you have the DLC and need a refresher for what is worth your time, then this can help. Now, let us begin. Champions of Yore. This is the easiest and cheapest pack at $6 even. The map is inspired by the very first map in Fire Emblem 1. At first glance these maps may seem trivial, but there are some sneaky good things to take away from here if you're playing on Lunatic. First off, these enemies will either have only one or no skill at all, regardless of difficulty. Most will only have high attack power on Hard or Lunatic. There is a skill you can get from completing the third map, All Stats plus 2. While I rank this skill in the priority list in another video, to quickly summarize the points made there, this skill is great for the early game. The plus 2 to all stats will make a difference early on in higher difficulties, and you can keep this skill over any other class skill that offers a small bonus to one single stat. The other thing this map has going for it is that it has villages. Unlike other maps in the main game, where once the chapter is cleared, the villages will remain closed, because you can keep playing on this map over and over again, you are free to check these villages as much as you want, and they give any item that isn't on the banned list. I'll link to the list of items you can't find in chests and villages in the description, but there are some certain items you really want from here, so much so you might even want to soft reset and check for these. These items are Master Seals and Second Seals. You can't buy Master Seals until Chapter 12, and Second Seals can't be purchased until Chapter 16. The only other way to get these are from set villages, Annas that randomly spawn on the map, and spot pass teams who are selling them. But here, you can keep searching for them while grinding for more All Stats plus 2 scrolls. On Lunatic, getting to promote early will make the Gangrel arc and part of the Walhart arc much more easier to handle, especially if you can acquire some great skills a bit earlier than usual. Overall, I'd say this is a solid pack to consider, but do note it is only important if you're doing Lunatic or Lunatic Plus. The Golden Pack. This might arguably be the most important DLC of all. The 3 maps are all different, unlike most packs, which share the same map design but with different scenarios. The Golden Gaff has you chasing fleeing Risen who have varying amounts of golds that match their level of skill and deadliness. If this is early in the game, don't sweat letting most of them through. Focus on the lowest level ones since you can repeat the maps as many times as you want. Over time, as you grow stronger throughout the game's run, you will be able to take out more and more. But do watch their skills, as the strongest ones will always have skills regardless of difficulty. Exponential Growth is all about grinding levels. 6 units are allowed as they must kill as many fleeing Risen as possible. These guys can kill you too if you're not careful or your units are too squishy. Especially the ones with 65 HP, as they all have the counter skill, making melee units useless for that matter, and you will not want to pick a fight with these guys. Let ranged units deal with them. Gale Force will make cleaning up all the enemies much easier and faster. Infinite Regalia is the last one in the set, and it has some moderate challenge compared to the other maps in the pack. Special Risen are guarding chests, which contain legendary weapons such as the Tearfing and rare weapons like the Bolt Axe. There's also some interesting dialogue here, but bring the kids along and you'll see what I mean. One important note is that if you reset the pack's maps, the enemies will be completely different. For the first 2, you can take advantage of this to try and set up an ideal scenario for your units to benefit off of. Overall, this is easily the most highly recommended pack to buy if you're trying to beat the game on Lunatic or just skill grind. Lost Bloodlines. This pack is based on the Famicom era of Fire Emblem games, 1 through 5. The design is from Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. The first map is a straightforward defeat the boss type with nothing of note, but the second and third maps have the more interesting rewards. The second map rewards you with the Dread Fighter class, the male exclusive that can only be found here. So expect plenty of repeats. Like with the skills, I go in greater detail in my skills/classes video, so use that video for more reference whenever it is uploaded. But to be brief, this class is the best class for mixed attackers. Mainly the child units such as Inigo or Owain will benefit from this the most, with the weapon selection being swords, axes, and magic. As for the third map, it offers Paragon, a universal skill that doubles EXP earned, which, considering there is the issue of EXP decay, where you slowly gain less EXP and must seek out stronger opponents to make up for that, this helps you in that goal much more. This is more fan service for games most people didn't have a clue about, but thanks to the mobile game Fire Emblem Heroes, more people are acquainted with the older characters, and fun fact, since I won't have another chance to mention this, Lachesis is one of the earliest examples of a localization change being altered over time. Her name used is Raquisis, which is a more literal translation of the Japanese letters and pronunciation, but today she has Lachesis as her official name. So yeah, there's your trivia for the day. Anyway, this set is great if you're pushing for Apotheosis as well as Lunatic. The Paragon and Dread Fighter are worth anyone's time and efforts. I deem it worthy for an easy buy. Smash Pack. This pack is based on the era of the GameCube, Wii, and GBA, Fire Emblem 6 through 10, and the map design is based on the Dragon's Gate from Fire Emblem 7. And the first map also doesn't have much of note here. Map 2 has the most important thing, the Wedding Bouquet. This unlocks the Bride class. Yeah, if you haven't noticed yet, these Eiderjar are kind of what inspired Faye to exist, but back on topic. The female exclusive Bride class is just for support. It can do good damage, but you want the rally skill from this to use on your rally bots for Apotheosis. It can use bows, lances, and staves. Map 3 has Iote's Shield, which is a skill that nullifies bonus damage on flyers, so bows and wind magic will not be super effective against one with that skill. It's a nice skill to have for Lunatic, but 5 slots is a very contested thing, so you might not fit this given that there are more important skills to have like Gale Force, attacking skills, and so on. But it has its niche. Overall, I'd only say this is worth it if you plan to make a run at Apotheosis, or if you want to be a simp and see your favorite girl in the wedding gown. Rogues and Redeemers. Alright, so this might be the only exception on this list where there's only one map worth getting, and that is the final map. While the other two offer Ephraim and Celica, which, fun fact, she's drawn by the Xenoblade 2 and 3 artist. That's not worth it unless you care for those two. Map 3 has Ike, but more importantly, you get access to the most important skill for any serious Lunatic or Apotheosis run, Limit Breaker. This skill allows you to pass the cap and add up to 10 more points for each stat save for HP. So for example, if your speed was capped at 50, now it's at 60, not counting bonuses and buffs. You need these points to fight endgame threats more seriously, and as a side note, this map is actually pretty difficult as you have no other allies helping unlike the first two maps, so be sure you have your best child units and characters with most or all of their needed skills. On Lunatic, you're going to need them. Good luck! Challenge Pack. I don't have much to say on this one. These maps have cool gimmicks, but that's about it. There's nothing of value except getting the OG Pegasus Night Sisters. And dear God, Est's face haunts me. Maybe that's the real challenge, loving that face. How Abel does it is beyond me. But anyway, I only would recommend this to people who really want weird challenges or just more story opportunities. Otherwise, it's an easy pass. Scramble Pack. For casual fans, this is easily the biggest buy. It's pure fan service, and that's about it. The beach map has higher chances of spawning Seeds of Trust, so if you need to grind supports faster, there's that, I guess. Otherwise, I'm not going to discuss this anymore. Oh, and for the record, I don't hate the pack. I happen to own it because of said fan service. And because Cordelia is one of my favorite characters in the game. Future Past. This is the other story-related map. If you care about Awakening lore, then this is a must-buy. Map 3 is actually a good challenge too, but you won't be getting anything useful out of these maps beyond the story value. And finally, Apotheosis. This is easily the hardest map in Awakening, and most likely in all of the history of Fire Emblem that I know of. And also, no matter the difficulty you are playing on, these stats will be the same on all the enemies. Obviously, I won't be giving this a rating since if this is your end goal, you kinda have to get it anyway. And if you're curious on the price, it's only $2.50. Alright, so all of them have been discussed, and here's my priority list. Must-buys are the Golden Pack, Lost Bloodlines Pack, the second map in Smash Brethren, and the final map in Rogues and Redeemers. Lesser priority is the Champions Pack, and the story-related section goes to the Scramble and Future Pass packs. And lastly, the Challenge Pack is in the if you really want it, I guess, part of the list, as well as every other map I haven't mentioned. So yeah, do with that what you will. Okay. So if there are any questions, put them in the comments below and I'll answer them as best I can. I wanted to put up the skills and classes guide, but given the DLC situation, I had to rush this one out there, so next time I'll be talking about that. At the end card, there will be a link to my Newcomer's Guide to Awakening if anyone needs it. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe to be on the lookout for the next set of Awakening guides. I'll see you all later.